This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gab-fed show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. You have the code over the machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you never stood here. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
And do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome to Man Talk 133 with Charles and Darl, the movement dedicated to empowering men, uniting brothers, and building a strong coalition. This is more than just a conversation. It's a call to action. Join us as we uplift, support, and inspire men worldwide. Because together, we don't just talk, we lead. We grow and we conquer. Are you ready to be part of the coalition? Let's dive in.
Welcome to Man Talk 133 with Shaw and Daryl. What's happening,
Yes,
bro?
sir. Yes, sir. What's happening, bro? How you feeling, man?
Ain't nothing to it, man. So over the next hour, we're gonna talk about where we at as a nation, bro. You know, the title is the State of America.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like where we are as a you know, we had some thing happen on yesterday.
Right.
We ain't gonna get too much into it, but you know, where we are we as a nation now? Like, you know, like as people, as a culture, as a as a democracy, where we are now, what's broken, what we got to try to fix. You know, we're gonna touch on the economy. We're gonna do a lot of different things in the show tonight, bro. But what do you think, man, as a country, man? What do you think we are as America? What do you think we are, bro?
Man, right now, man, we really out of whack, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we out of whack, man. I know the show started off, with they don't care what your beliefs are, who you voted for, and all that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So they take everybody's opinions, but a lot of times, man, with this stuff that's going on, especially like I guess you're gonna speak on that, especially like the guy that they got shot yesterday.
Yeah.
Let him rest in peace or whatever. And condolence to his family, but
sure.
But some of the stuff that he talked about, I mean, yeah, you can say that stuff sometime, but like when you steadily doing stuff like that, and speaking like really like one culture or one race. He did multiple people, but definitely like black race.
Yeah.
And I know there's a white guy that did the shooting or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, people get tired of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
After a while, they'll get tired of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Condolences to their family, man, and stuff like that. But man, it lets me know as a country, we got a long way to go.
Yeah, man, we definitely fell back.
Yeah, because I know we talk about free speech, and that is what he considered, or what some people consider as free speech.
Right.
But at the same time, I personally feel like it can go over the line, where when you have such a voice, you can influence people to do things that they, or feel a way that they don't normally identify with. that's kind of, what make me ask where we are as, as a country, because
Right.
we got, the president, people gonna go on both sides. You got the president saying this, and you got, they said the Democrats saying this, you got this person saying, and
Right.
you got the people in the middle. All they trying to do is make it.
Right. Right.
All they trying to do, man, is like they trying to put food on the table.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of trying to keep a roof over their head.
Yeah.
And at some point it hits a breaking point where it's out of control. Like, because that, me personally, I had some conversation with some people, and me personally, it won't random. What happened to Charlie Kirk was not a random thing. That was a professional.
But man, people, like you said, they're gonna blame the left. They're gonna say it was the right. The guy may have been right. I don't know, right wing or whatever, but it was what it was. But you got Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah.
They don't have, ever since Trump come in office, I'm just gonna address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Ever since Trump came on the scene in 2014, 2015, or whatever, he won in 2016, right? It's been a spirit, a bad spirit or cloud, no matter who disagree with me or whatever. And these people have been pushing this agenda, like this over the top right wing stuff. Like, it's no more. See, we came up, especially me. I was in the Corps. I still got some of my white friends, so it ain't a black and white thing. You can address it as such, but I still keep in touch with them. We still meet up sometime, catch a lunch or something like that. So but like I said, if they're a Republican, I'm a Democrat or whatever, it's no more traditional Democrat and Republican. And see, now with these guys, when you find out these guys are actually shooting people, they are actually Republicans. What it is Republicans are going against the MAGA crowd, the MAGA movement.
Yeah.
And that's what that is. I mean, it's no more traditional Democrat and Republican. They got this other cloud over here, which is the MAGA movement that's, spewing all this rhetoric. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately for the the Republicans, the MAGA is attached to the Republican Party.
Yeah. That's the downside of it. And
yeah, so it makes it seem like, to some people, it makes it seem like that all the Republican Party is like that. But a lot of Republicans aren't like that. It's just the MAGA movement. Whenever they clean this MAGA movement out, or whatever that stench is with that MAGA, once they get out of the way and get back to the regular Democrat and Republicans like it used to be, let's say 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Then everything will go back to normal. But until then, it's gonna stay the way it is as long as MAGA is here.
Exactly, man. And what's crazy about the whole thing, like, people got to understand, like,
right,
when we talk about America, we talk about religion, politics, race, economics, all this stuff we talk about, man. But one thing that I will say about the United States is that if we have like a natural disaster or something like that, it brings them together. Sports bring them together. All different things like that can bring them together. So I guess I look at it from this standpoint. Why can't, if that brings people together, no matter what color you are, what your race is, what your religion is, if you drown it and somebody stick their hand out to pull you out the water, you're gonna grab it. So why can't it be like that all the time?
Right.
You dig what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. And I think, like, if I go back to I just use those guys because that's what it is. The MAGA party, for me, my opinion, I know somebody probably debated it, don't matter, but my opinion, the MAGA party got this whole thing is like, they want to stay in power. They feel like they losing power. So that's why they create this rhetoric and this narrative or whatever. Because like you said, if one of my Republican buddies or whatever, like you said, you know, if I'm in the water drowning, he reach down, I'm grabbing it. If I reach down and grab him, he grabbing it.
Yeah.
It's like I say, I still break bread with my brothers from time to time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but it's like this whole MAGA movement is what the problem is.
Right.
That some people don't want to address. But it's really, that's really what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, you know, however you feel about another race, black person or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the guy, he made, you know, statements like, you know, if I'm flying, going to take a flight or whatever, and if it's a black, you know, if it's a black pilot, I sure hope he's qualified and all that stuff like that. You know, sometimes you do stuff like that, that's a little bit over the top.
Now it's a lot over the top, and see, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I'm saying. That's the part that, you know, made me ask, like, you know, what's the state? How many people actually feel like that? Now, I'll say this, like I said before, you know, that's hits whatever, I don't know, First Amendment, where you can say whatever you want and get away with it. I guess that was his First Amendment right, even though to some people it was wrong. That was his right to say it. But at the same time, you know, when it's certain things that you do, you gotta deal with the backlash. Right. You know, it's some backlash that come with all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? That when you're in politics, your religion, you in church and stuff like that. How many times have you heard people say, you know, I thought you was a Christian because you feel that you get a little way. I thought you was a Christian, bro. You just because you're a Christian, but you can't be human. Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is you got your feed, man, is like stopping on me. I think you're good now, I think. Okay. You still there? Yeah, I'm still here. You hear me? Yeah. I can hear you. Just you little bit too far from the mic. No, you stopped moving on me for a minute. Okay. Yeah. We'll get that worked out in the break, but I'm just saying, like, you know, like one thing I will say, people want to come to America because me personally, I just think it's the freedom, you know, freedom is, you know, is the backbone of America. Everybody want to come here because it's freedom. They just want to, they can do whatever they want. They can start businesses. They can do whatever they want. But at the same time, it's still stuff that comes with that. You got to be willing to deal with whatever comes with, you know, whatever comes with that. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, for him, that was his freedom, saying what he want. And but at the same time, you know, it's kind of me personally, when I heard people start talking about politics, I go ahead and walk on off. You know what I'm saying? Because I heard some people talking about it today, and I just went on and walked on off because I didn't know the guy. Like, I knew of him, right? So I don't have an opinion. I just know he said some way out stuff. I don't know what else he did and said. I know he said some crazy stuff that was way out there. You know, but, so let me ask you this though. Let me shift a little bit. How do you think that, because we're getting ready to come up on the break, but how do you think that the politics of what people do and the way they do things like that, how it affects the U.S. economy? Like for example, does it deter people from wanting to do business here? Does it draw more people in? They feel like the freedom of them coming in and doing and saying what they want to do and say make them want to come here because they can do shady business? Or how do you think that affect the U.S. economy? I don't think it affected any, because you know, you got to figure who is coming to America, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, like you got, you know, of course you got different ethnics. Let me know when we get ready to go to break. You know, we can address it at the top, back at the beginning of the next 15 minutes or whatever. But I don't think it'll affect any.
because
Okay.
you got to feel like you got these different ethnics that's coming, and a lot of them don't deal with the black culture anyway.
Okay. All right. Well, we up against the break, so we're gonna finish that.
Okay.
We're gonna jump
Okay.
right back into the after the break, y'all.
Okay, all right.
I wish there was some place that I could go where I got the promise to never be alone. These bars all have last call, and my friends, they ain't home. I wish there was some place that I could go with a heartache this big, a bottle this small. I don't think I'm ready to deal with it all. I need a 24-hour heartbreak saloon where they never have last call and play country tunes. When she walked out of my life, I nearly broke down, drowning my heartache in every bar in this town. Sooner or later, they all closed the door, and I was left playing guitar at home on the floor with a heartache this big, a bottle this small. I don't think I'm ready to deal with it all. I need a 24-hour heartbreak saloon where they never have last call and play country tunes. With a heartache this big, a bottle this small. I don't think I'm ready to deal with it all. I need a 24-hour heartbreak saloon where they never have last call and play country tunes. Yeah, they never have last call and play good old tunes.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Welcome back to Man Talk 133 with Shaw.
Yes,
and
sir.
Earl.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you was talking about some after the break. Go ahead and finish that up for us, bro.
Yeah, man. What I was saying was, I think you was asking me, did it did you think it affect us as business wise in America? And what I said was I don't think it will have an effect because you got a lot of other countries that's coming over here. They don't really get down with us anyway. So when they come over here, they really don't see us. They see us as bad people. They put our race in a, because you got to address the elephant in the room. They put our race they take some bad people and they put all of us in a box together.
Okay.
So
I can agree.
When you had the Chinese come over here, you had the Jewish people come over here, the Arabs, and all of this stuff like this here. Even the Ukrainians, you know what happened to that girl last week. So you have all these people come over here. When they come over here, they are kind of like closer to the white people.
Right.
Just got to say it like that. For this particular discussion, they are pretty much catered or closer to the white race. Now, in turn, now they do like our flavor. They do like our cooking and all of that, in our style or whatever, our culture. But now they'll take all of that, but but if they leave us out, they'll discard us. That's just the way it is. Now, me and you, a whole lot of us, I ain't like the quote unquote, you want to say hood dudes or people that just don't care, because if you ask me, every race got that.
Right.
But when they see the black, some of the black people that's acting out and like they ain't got no home training and and this, that, whatever, they robbing and stealing and killing, they'll put all of us as a black race, they put all of us in that box. And that's how they look at us. So when the people come over here to do business from other countries, it don't affect them one way or another, because when they come over here, they are not coming over here for us anyway.
Right. I get you. I get what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. So they're kind of like, coming over here with the guys that's in the White House or something like that. That's how I look at it.
Did you feel like we more free today than our parents and grandparents were?
More freer?
Yeah, more free today.
I would say we are, but by a slim margin.
Yeah.
I think we got more. I would say we got more opportunity than our grandparents and them, had. That's why I always say I wish that our ancestors can get the rewards that these new people have today in the black culture.
Yeah.
Because our new generation, what our ancestors and our grandparents had to fight through, our this new generation, they couldn't bear to do what our old generation did.
True that. I agree with that.
Even though we were free, they were free back then. When we was coming up, they had limited resources.
Yeah.
We had, they had limited resources, so they were in a sense free. That's why I kind of say we are just a tad bit freer than them because we got more resources.
Yeah, we got a whole lot more resources, which leads me to the next point. Like America, a lot of people think, well, I ain't gonna say a lot of people. Some people think that America is like is all about politics, which in some cases it is, because it's what they hear mostly about. But the truth of the matter is, like, a lot of people ain't concerned about politics. They concerned about them wallets.
That's it.
They concerned about what's in their wallet, what's on their table.
Yeah.
What they can do to make it better for their families. They ain't talking. They not talking about. Politics is a big part, because you do got to get out of the vote. You do got to do what you got to do to, like, try to get whatever your interest is in. But at the same time, man, we talk about inflation. People say we talk about it's no inflation. It is inflation right now, bro. I hate to say it like that, but it is.
Yeah.
Cost of living is up. The job market. I heard a report the other day. I wish I could cite the place where I heard it, but we're talking about how it's more jobs is more people looking for jobs than there is jobs.
Right.
So I thought we were supposed to be creating a lot of jobs, and that ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? It ain't happening for people to be able to, get jobs and make the money that they want to make to support their families. I mean, listen, I'm with you. Hey man, politics gonna be here.
Yeah.
Even after we leave. And
I think like you were saying with the politics, a lot of times, man, we don't worry about the politics. We just trying to, like you said, we trying to get what we need in our wallets, what we need on our tables and stuff like that. But a lot of times it's pushed on us to a certain degree, because I look at it, like I said, like we always say, a certain group of people, sometimes when they see other group of people excelling and raising up, they feel like their power is being stripped from them. They want the whole piece of the pie. Like, but when they see you getting ready to get some of that pie, they don't want you to get none of that pie. You know what I'm saying? They want you to stay where you are. It's just like when the guys we growing up, we used to play marbles back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I need all my marbles. I want to let you just keep two.
Yeah.
I want to be the one that got the whole pocket full.
Yeah, right. You see what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? So that's why they're gonna always push their politics in there like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I see it, man. It's like especially like we was talking about old buddy. You know what I'm saying? Like pushing certain things. I know a lot of people care for him. Hey, like I said, I'm like you. I didn't know him like that, but I have heard some of his stuff, and he won't the pleasantest guy. I just got to say it like that. You know what I'm saying? But some of his stuff he might have said may have been, on the up and up, but majority of the stuff that was directed towards us, what I'm saying, as a race, it wasn't that pleasant. And then, sometimes people gonna just get tired of it. You know what I mean? Like
1000%, dog. It's just what it is. It's what it is. And like I was, saying, man, like as far as I'm concerned, we got to think. Let's look at it from this perspective. Perspective right here.
Okay.
We got rising inflation. National debt is raising. Wage, people ain't getting wages like the housing costs. Global economic pressure. You talking about America's, and for me as a whole, financially, we're in a tough spot, because when you take the 1% that's getting 99% of the wealth. I mean, the 1% that's getting 99% of the wealth is crazy.
Yeah.
So now you got the 99% fighting over what's left. Over basically like the crumb. They getting majority of the wealth, man. Let's look at it like this. Let's look at some numbers.
Okay.
U.S. national debt has crossed over 34 trillion. If I remember correct, when I did my my research on it, was like 37 some trillion, somewhere in that area like that, right?
Right.
So we talking about the debt, and it's still growing. Inflation still growing. We talking about the job market. It ain't no jobs. Employment rates is in the toilet, like unemployment, like people can't get jobs. Right. Now, for me, when I hear that, I'm just like, I had to go do the research when they say, hey, they're not hiring. So what they're saying when they're not hiring like full time. You can get a job that's part time, but the full time job, because of the tariffs and all this other kind of stuff that then kicked in, is affecting the global market and us as a whole, because it's kind of like what you do. You know what I'm saying? You can't, like, you go look at a house, right? Now if you go look at a house from now 3 years back, it done jumped probably about 100,000 because of the lumber went up, everything that went up, all this other kind of stuff that went up, man. So we got to start, people got to look at it from that perspective. We coming up against this break. We'll be right back after the break. We're going to get into some more of this stuff, bro, because it's kind of, it's dismal. That's the word they said, it's dismal.
Yeah, right.
We'll be right back after the break.
Been home about 6 months now, and I still have my doubts. Well, I'm not sure how I got here or how I'm gonna get out. Well, my mama says I look the same as I did before I left, but if she could see inside of me, it would scare her to death. I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, "Run, soldier, run!" And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, God and weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. Well, they taught me how to put that uniform on. I just can't get it off. Last Saturday they honored us in a small parade downtown, and when they shot off those fireworks, I nearly hit the ground. And while they smiled and cheered for us, all I could do was stare. 'Cause part of me is here at home, but part of me's back there. Well, I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, "Run, soldier, run!" And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, God and weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. They taught me how to put that uniform on. I just can't get it off. Yeah, there's no end in sight. 'Cause even though I'm home now, I'm still fighting for my life. Well, I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, "Run, soldier, run!" And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, God and weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. Well, they taught me how to put that uniform on. I just can't get it off. Well, the devil's won some battles, and he may win some more, but don't he know the American soldier will always win the war?
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Welcome back to Man Talk 133 with Shaw and Daryl. Welcome to the show, y'all, yet again. So before we left, we were talking about how we were talking about the jobs and them hiring. And most of from what I've seen, they're looking. It's not a lot of full time, but it's a lot of part. But the problem is, when I was doing the research and stuff, the problem is that the wages for the people, for many workers and stuff like that, it ain't keeping up with the cost of living. It ain't right. It ain't adding up. Like you talking about, if you pay somebody $15 an hour, which is back in the day used to be good. Now
Yeah.
it's basically because of the cost of living, it's like $7 an hour basically.
Yep.
So now you got to work triple. I mean, you got to work 2-3 jobs just to make the ends meet, and that still don't work out because now you ain't at home. Your kids ain't, they doing what they want to do.
Yep.
And then you got a problem. You know what I'm saying?
And if you get a say like somebody that's single or not single, and they got to get an apartment, right?
Yeah.
$15 an hour back in the day, you was coasting. You had a nice apartment, you chilling.
Yeah.
But now the average, I'm just this low ball. The average for an apartment now is like what, 1,800?
Yeah, about 18. Yeah. And that's on the low end.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The low end, that's in a pretty decent area. You know what I'm saying? So, but you looking at least $2,000 a month.
Yeah, dog. And that's the crazy part. In order for you to afford something like that, man, you got to be making at least $25 an hour, if not more.
Yep.
You got to be, because that's gonna net you out at 25. That's about what, $1,000 a week. Then after taxes and all that, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of and then you got to have a little bit more, because even after taxes, you bring home probably taxes, insurance, you bring home about $700. Yeah, you're talking about 7, that's 40, 20, what, 2,800 out of the 4,000. So you taking 2,000 out of that. And if I'm doing my math right.
Right. We say you check the check basically.
Yeah.
You got to take some. You got to put. It ain't funny, but you got to put that one check, and then you got to wait till the next week and get that other one, and kind of join them together. Yeah.
Now for real though, to make that payment, man. And that's one of the things is crazy. Is on paper, America look like we doing it. We working, we spending, but we got a problem though. The problem is that we're borrowing more and saving less. So now you're going into debt because now you ain't making the money. So there's like, hey, I can, you get this loan or you refi your house, get the money out. If you don't do the right stuff with it, now you in trouble.
Yep.
Now you put yourself in the spot whenever you got all this money, your payment went up. You ain't do nothing with the money. Now you in debt because you spending more. Because of, and we said this before, because of social media. Social media make people feel like they on top of the world.
Big ballers.
Yeah, they go throwing the money or showing the money, going on these extravagant vacations, and they ain't putting nothing back. They saving. You think about it. The average person probably is on these jobs, young person. I can assure you they probably ain't in none of the 401ks.
Exactly. You're right.
Unless it's forced on them, like the state. I think the state kind of forced it on them. They automatically take it out. But for the most part, man, they ain't in it.
Yeah.
They don't care about saving nothing. They trying to spend all of it.
Yeah, man. And it's wild. Like you said, you talking about that when you go back to the 99%.
Yeah.
We scrambling for the rest. You know what I'm saying? It's like, a certain percentage, they got all the money and all, but
1%. Let me give you the exact percentage.
Right.
1%.
But really what it boils down to is the power.
Yeah.
It's
there
like,
you go.
What I'm saying? Because they don't want to when they feel like their power, they relinquishing that power, somebody taking it. You know what I'm saying? That's when they started getting in an uproar. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of stuff that they can actually do.
For sure.
With that money, all the money that they have, it's a lot of stuff that they can do. They can put stuff back into these communities if they really want to.
For sure they can, man.
And they can
that's
pay
what's
these
causing
people.
all of the problems.
Yep. And they can pay these people. They can get these people the proper wages too on them jobs. You know what I'm saying? Instead of letting these people struggle. You know what I'm saying? So,
and it's crazy what we were talking about earlier. The average, they talk about the average cost of homes that skyrocketed, the mortgage rate at the highest in years. Just think about this. Remember back in the day, you used to rent an apartment for like $330 based on your income, $350 a month. Now it ain't happening. I don't even. They may have income based stuff. I don't know, but for the average renter, they spend over 30%, if not more, of their income.
350.
Yeah, I mean, back in the
them
day, we
days,
was in Cabo, it was 330.
Yeah, that was good old days. Them days ain't never coming back. Yeah, I know they said never say never, but them days are never coming back.
Never. That 99 with that 79, 89, and 99 cent gas never coming back.
Never.
I don't care what nobody try to tell you. It's over.
Right.
Like you said, dog, it's over with.
Yeah, that's over.
It's over. You think about it, man. Many renters are spending over 30% of their income just to keep a roof over their head. Gas and groceries, you know, it's a carton of eggs. We already know where that's at. They said it came down. It came down probably like 10 cents. It's still $4 for a carton of eggs. It's so bad, dog. I rode through one of the hoods over there in, little Mexico over there off of Atlantic Avenue. Shout out to my people over there too in Little Mexico.
Oh yeah, I used to roll through there back in the day.
Yeah, off Atlantic Avenue, right? Yeah. And Keisha and I was over there when he got a little cup of coffee over there, right? The man got the eggs on top of the hood selling them, dog.
Come on, man.
Panhandling eggs out there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Man. Think about that. Now, gas, credit cards, debit cards, credit card balance are hitting record highs. Just think about it. If you got a credit card and you run it almost to your max, right? The interest rate when it hit, it's probably depends on what it is. Just say if you got one for let's say $6,000 and you had $500, you got $500 left on it. The interest rate when it hits you gonna be probably about 160, and they taking that out the balance.
Yeah, that's gonna crush you, boy. It'll take you forever to pay that off. If you pay it, like you said, if you pay the monthly installment.
The minimum, yeah. You think about that now. You're paying 150, about 120, 150 on a credit card. You got 30% increase in rent. You got because you had to pay stuff, put stuff on your credit card like groceries.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So they just making, like I said, the minimum payment, so you ain't paying nothing on the interest. It's just there.
Yeah.
It's like you just got a balance. It's just there.
Yeah, you just living, just fighting to get by. I'm gonna pay this minimum.
Yeah.
So I can decide, so I can make it to the next month. You know, you pay that minimum because you know I done been there, done that back in the day. You know, if you don't pay that minimum, you know they lock their card up on you.
Yeah, for sure. You better pay something on it. If it ain't never that $25, something you better pay on it.
Yeah, you pay that minimum. At least you know if you need to go over.
Yeah.
Next month you can, you know.
Lord have mercy, dad. Let me tell y'all something. Let me say this. Let me put a real disclaimer on this one because we always put disclaimers on it.
Go ahead.
Man Talk 133 with Charles and Dara is not telling y'all to do this. Okay? I ain't telling y'all to do this. But what I'm saying is, if your stuff gets so far out of whack, you behind on your house, you behind on your car, your credit cards, you got all this stuff going on, just file a bankruptcy, dog, and restructure. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just file a bankruptcy. Your credit shot anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. If you don't have no other way to get out of it, it's shot anyway. Guess what? Your credit, your when you do the bankruptcy, you know they put your house in there. Your payments on certain, like if you got student loans, that's gonna stop. And while you in bankruptcy, if you got certain stuff going on, if I'm not mistaken, your house and stuff like that stops. They just consolidate all your little stuff together and restructure. Instead of you paying $4,000 a month, you paying $2,000 or $1,800 or whatever.
Yeah.
Till you restructure, dog. Your credit your credit already shot. You got late payments for the last 2 years on it.
We said, dog, you ain't got nothing else to lose. Not with it.
Roll the dice, dog. Throw it in there. At least look at somebody and talk to them about that option. I'm being straight up. Yeah. Because if you behind on everything, what's it gonna hurt, dog? It ain't gonna. I'm telling you, it ain't gonna hurt nothing for you to do that. So I'm just saying, I ain't telling y'all to do it. I'm just saying, hey, look at the option now.
It's a disclaimer.
Disclaimer, dog. Just look at the option. Hey, we'll be right back, y'all, to finish up after the show, y'all. We'll be right back to finish up after the break. Can't finish up after the show, can we?
Right.
This is Who You Are by Barbara Sim.
There's a story in every one of us, not one of them the same. There's something about the human heart, these hearts they can't be tamed. There's something wild in us all, something stirring and untamed, like the flicker of a growing flame, casting light in our own name. Let it shine, let it shine, let it show just who you are. Let it shine, let it shine. Don't be ashamed of where you are. Like the storyline of a book, we all have to start somewhere. There's a challenge, something to overcome, something to make us turn the page. Every chapter, every line, there's a purpose every time. All the bad and all the good makes you exactly you. Let it shine, let it shine, let it show just who you are. Let it shine, let it shine. Don't be ashamed of where you are. So let it shine, let it shine, let it show just who you are. Let it shine, let it shine. Don't be ashamed of who you are. Shine bright, shine bright. Show the world just who you are. Shine bright, shine bright. Be exactly who you are. Be exactly who you are.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Welcome back to Man Talk 133 with Charles and Daryl.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
before we went to break, I was finishing up some.
Okay.
So I was about to say, for most Americans, it ain't about the numbers. They looking to see if they can pay these bills and they can have some left over at the end of the month. Now, I gave them an option that I ain't endorsing the option, but I'm just saying this is an option that I know people have used, and it worked. It worked for them. They put them in a better situation. Your credit shot. You can't buy nothing nowhere. You got like 1,800 late payments. You dig what I'm saying? Like, so it's kind of like, it's something to look into. I think it's a chapter 13 or something like that. Y'all look into it. Don't, unless they calling us about a sponsorship, then don't tell them, man.
Exactly.
Call about a sponsorship, we can talk to them. I advertise every week, but I'm just saying, if not, don't have them call me.
Right.
For real though, serious talk. So, you got some?
Oh no, go ahead. We move on.
Right. So now let's talk about Washington, Doc. We're gonna got to talk about how the government play a role in this thing, Doc. This massive spending debt. Need to spending money, just spending money, spending for no reason. It's printing and printing and printing, giving tax breaks to the wealthy.
Right.
You talking about they giving tax breaks to us? I ain't seen one.
No, I ain't seen that.
I ain't seen one. I just know the people in the top, certain brackets, they getting a tax break. So that does not help stabilize families when we talk about tax breaks, and we don't get none of that. I don't know how that helps us. All it does is balloons the national debt to how much I tell you was early, like 37 trillion, somewhere in that area.
Yeah. Hey, I know a lot of people cheering on the cuts that they doing, cutting jobs, and they say they saving America money. So, if they saving America money, then we need some kickback. We need to see a little bit of that.
Well, they were cheering it until it came knocked on their front door, and it ain't so popular.
Right. Because that's the deal. If you're gonna make a lot of cuts, and y'all supposed to get some kickback off of that.
Absolutely.
But you making cuts and I ain't getting no kickback. Who getting it?
And well,
you know what I'm saying? Like
who doing that?
Huh?
You know who getting that? It ain't us. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. So
right.
But the thing is, man, it's more so like, if you want to try to help the people, right? You want to try to help I've heard this word so many times, the American people. You want to help the American people. Then I want a politician. You're welcome to come on this platform. Right. I want somebody to tell us how are they helping the American people when you got the homeless rate is out of control.
Yeah.
You got the spending debt is out of control. You got people don't have jobs. You get all this stuff going on. I just want to know, because unless it's like it's a piece of the puzzle that I'm missing, that ain't nobody showing me.
Right.
I want to know how. Like, it's like, you think about it, man. Like, how can we build like a strong foundation for like our kids and their kids if we keep passing on this massive bill on to them? Money wise, you passing on this trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars onto them. Like, I'm just trying to figure it out, dog. Who gonna pay for it? Because the people that's passing these bills ain't gonna live forever. So once they pass away, they ain't got to deal with it no more. And most of them that's passing the bills, they got money. They paid. You feel what I'm saying? And they
getting money off the top.
Right.
Because that's why they stay in there like as old as they are. They look like you got to help some of them out in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
For real, cars after the day is over with. You know what I'm saying? Like, so many. Oh, man, you don't stick around in nothing that long if you ain't getting no big financial gain out of it. 100%. I don't care what you know what I'm saying?
You're correct on that one. Now, do you think about that? You think I know some people have, but do you think for the most part, people gonna stay on the job 30, 40 years if it ain't worth it?
Right.
You mean tell me somebody gonna stay working? You know how hot it is working out there in the field? You're gonna retire from working in the field? It ain't happening. So unless it's some good that's coming out of it, like, the people that's getting these, these little Holy Ghost handshakes, good job. To give them, slide them a little money. Yeah. Outside of that, that's the reason why they still there. Outside of that, they get free everything, free healthcare, free whatever, while the other people that work, they got to pay for that. Like, you know, it's kind of, I don't know, bro. It's kind of one of the things where we, you know, we got to be really, 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 you know, mindful of like passing this. Well, they have to be mindful of passing this on to their kids, but they don't think like that, or their grandkids, they don't think like that because they putting money up for them, millions of dollars in trust fund. So they ain't got to worry. They won't have to worry about that problem.
And the 99%, like you said earlier, we got to fight for the rest of it.
Got to fight for the rest of it, dog. And like you said, man, it's like even if we talk about the global events, you know, the stuff that's happening over there. Just imagine. You remember when they had not too long ago was the Colonial Pipeline. Something happened with that. Just imagine if we had a disruption in like the food supply for like 2 days. Dude, would you imagine, or a week, would you imagine what it'd be like?
Man,
you dig what I'm saying? Like, nobody think about this stuff, bro, when it's, you know, like, it's good now because we eat off the fat of the land, but if it ever gets slim, think about that, dog. If they ever slim down, will they couldn't think about the gas. The gas got cut off for like 2 days. Folk out there fighting at the convenience store to get gas. Folk pulling up on like these big things, trying to fill them up. Like, I'm just like, what are y'all doing?
Right, exactly.
What's going on, bro?
Man, it looked like cut me off on the end, didn't it?
What's that?
The network. I'm still here with
the Wi-Fi playing with you bad today, boy. I don't know what's going on. It's acting up today, right at the end.
Yeah, I think he got you a little bit. He got you something doing.
It must be stream God, man.
Yeah, this stream. I think it's stream God. Yeah.
You think about it, man. The US dollar is still the world's reserve currency, but you talking about crypto and all they got Bitcoin ATMs, bro.
Right.
Like, so I'm saying, like, the US dollar may not be as desirable as it once was when you talk about using, you know, like Bitcoin and all this stuff, you know, to pay for it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, to pay for stuff, because everybody's starting to be like, okay, well, Bitcoin is going to be a thing. I think they're $150,000 per coin or something right now. It's up there. It's high.
I think they quieted down a little bit. They still on fire. They Bitcoin.
No, they still up there. I think they probably about 120, anywhere from 120, 150,000 per coin. So it's still up there. Yeah, it's still up there. So before we get out of here, dog, so where do we go from here? Some predict a soft landing where inflation stabilizes without a major recession. The only way that happens is we have to, and y'all don't get offended, but you know, only way that is going to stabilize is that y'all got to change how the White House is being ran and by who is being ran by. Because if not, and you feel like your way is right on everything, then we're going to continue to have this issue. You're going to have failing businesses. You're going to have failing American people. You're going to have them failing. Everybody's going to fail. Because once you if you can't stabilize this economy, we're going to have some problems. Because guess what that turns into, bro? High debt, high interest rates, all kind of stuff, man, that can happen. I'm just saying, bro.
You're right.
I'm just saying, they don't think about that stuff. All they think about is lining their pockets. You know, some people say, well, hey, won't you ride the wave? Majority of the time, only way you can ride that wave is you got to have money to get in to ride that wave with them.
No doubt.
if you ain't got the money to get in and ride the wave, you can't ride it. Most people can't drop $130 on starting a business, or buying the LLC.
You rich, keep rich, getting rich. Poor getting poor.
But listen, hey, we thank y'all for joining the show, man. Hey, condolences to Charlie Kirk's family, man, and we're praying for their family and everything.
Still there, bro? Thank you from the end, bro. Still there?
I'm closing it out. Yeah, I'm closing it out. Huh? Oh yeah. Hey, listen. Thank y'all for joining into the show. Hey man, not shout out. Hey, condolences to the Kirk family, Charlie Kirk and family and all of that, man. Condolences.
The show. Condolences, bro. Tap back in, but I guess we're gonna go ahead and end the show. We're gonna wait and see what happens.
Yeah, so hey, thank y'all for joining. Until next time, hey, God bless. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.